Nicole got that. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Well, hi. It's so exciting to see everyone on here. Thank you so much for joining. I think I've probably met or emailed with many of you now, but I'm Laura Minlin. I'm the program manager with Global Food Institute. And I, along with Nicole Correa of the Aspen Institute, who you'll meet in a moment if you haven't already, will be one of your primary contacts kind of for anything related to this partnership. So I'm excited to get to know everyone more. So I think we can go to the next slide for a quick overview of just how we're going to plan to use this time. We'll start with a brief overview of the Aspen Food Leaders Fellowship and the Global Food Institute, and then go over some details on kind of how we're envisioning our partnership to look, and share some examples for inspiration on how this has already begun to take form. And then you'll meet one of our exciting partners here at GW, Planet Forward, who are going to help to kind of cover your stories and collaborations. And then we'll really save the bulk of the time together now to answer any questions you have or ideas that come up. But before I pass it over to Corby and Nicole at Aspen, I just want to take a moment to broadly set the stage for the partnership until we delve deeper later on. So big picture, I think we're excited for this opportunity to offer connections and funding to spark collaboration between the GW community that's engaged in food systems work and the Aspen Food Leaders Fellows, who are a really incredible group of leaders and practitioners out in the field doing the work. And it's our hope that through this partnership, we can lean on the unique strengths of each of our communities to have an impact beyond what we can have on our own. And we want to give a huge thank you to Jose Andres' Longer Tables Fund, because they were really the ones who first connected us and saw exactly this potential, and were generous to offer us funding to pilot this partnership and concept. So I think with that, I'll pass it over to Corby and Nicole.
Great, and I don't have such good taste in bedspreads. My niece does. So greetings from my niece's room with the greatest of joy to be with Tara, Stacy, Laura, Bill Dietz, and many, many about to be friends from the Global Food Institute. And Nicole has been helping lead this partnership, but I think I saw Nicole Hoffman with us briefly for a moment. But if McCall and Satchel had not come about a year and a half ago, and been impressed by the fellows themselves, which is the most impressive group any of us knows, except the GW group right here, who we can't wait to meet. So we're really excited about this partnership, the cross-disciplinary excitement and potential of it. And there's so much more work that we can do together. And today we're going to hear about some of the work we've already begun. And Nicole has been meeting at length in some of the offices of GW right down the road from the Aspen Institute. It's wonderful that we're so conveniently located for great and close collaboration. Nicole.
So, hi, I'm Nicole Correa. I'm Laura's counterpart at the Aspen Institute within the Food and Society program. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Food Leaders Fellowship, essentially every year we bring together a cohort of 18 people from across the food system. So, we're talking about business, nonprofit, and civic leaders who are working on things like combating nutritional insecurity, or working on, more sustainable CPG products, or they might be, helping farmers or people who actually work the land. And they come together for a really deep examination of why they're in the field, both on a personal level and a professional level. And they come together to figure out how they scale their impact. So we bring each cohort together 3 times in person over 18 months. The first time is in Aspen, where the institute's I guess spiritual home is. And then we bring them together for the last time in DC where the Institute's headquarters is. And the second seminar is a rotating location based on where one cohort member lives and works. And our gatherings are split between a seminar style program where they read texts ranging from Plato to MLK to Isabel Allende. And that helps them, like, dive into their values and the why behind the work they do. And then we spend the other half both talking about their work and also experiencing a little bit about the food system in the place we are. So that might mean going to farms in the region or going to a meat processing plant. This is something we did in Starkville this past May. It could also mean, purveying local restaurants or volunteering at a food pantry, as you can see in one of these photos. So it's very place-based, as are the readings that we incorporate into the programming. Our fellows are from North America, continental North America, so we have mostly folks based in the United States, but we do have one fellow from Mexico and one fellow from Canada, always looking to expand our
And
network.
Javier is on the line with us
Very
today, as a matter of
true.
Mexico City.
And part of the fellowship is an action plan that each fellow works on. And that's, again, they're trying to figure out, they've been in this work for a little bit and they're trying to figure out how they can expand the work they're doing or potentially like start a completely new venture. And this partnership with the Global Institute is going to be like essential in that journey because it's helping the fellows expand their own networks. And Laura and Tara have been instrumental in like helping them sort of put that into action and fully realize it. That's all from me. Corby, is there anything I missed?
No, it's just an overview. Our fellows are fabulous, but we know that everybody from GW is just as fabulous. So we're excited to answer any more questions about the fellowship, but we'd love to hear from Laura, Stacy, and Tara about GFI and what they've done so far.
All right, I think that means I'm up. So hi everybody, I'm Stacy Dean. I'm the executive director of the Global Food Institute, which we're going to call GFI. I will not match Corby's enthusiasm, but know in my heart, my intensity and mutual appreciation is right there. So in 2023, we launched GFI at GW alongside Jose Andres, who some of you may know is a noted chef and humanitarian with the very audacious and ambitious goal to change the world through the power of food. And we're pursuing that effort through three general areas of work, all of which line right up under this partnership: education, research and analysis, and exchanging ideas for how to drive change. Can be convenings, but also writing and sharing ideas through other platforms. But the bottom line is that we want to do all of this by working with partners. And really, because we, like Aspen and like all of you, believe that it's only together that we're going to find the bold solutions to the food challenges that we faced. So our goal is to bring the power of GW, the power of an incredible academic institution, to leading practitioners who are working to drive change in the the food system, which is, of course, the Aspen Fellows. We want to support, co-create, take on research that will help leaders in the field accelerate and drive change. And by working with them, and in this case, Aspen, we can be sure that our efforts are going to be relevant, timely, and impactful. And I got to give a shout out to GW here. It's not just any university. It's the ideal workshop for building and designing the partnerships we need to drive change. We're located in the nation's capital. It's a notable institution full of professors, students, and staff that value making the world a better place. And it's exactly why GFI is located here. GW has the capabilities, location, and heart to support this broader mission to change the world through the power of food. So I guess just I want to loop back quickly to the other critical bucket of ours beyond research, and that is education. We are training up future leaders who can carry on with solutions in our food system as they move from school into their careers. They are the future Aspen Fellows. So we don't want to just educate the next Secretary of Agriculture, which is sort of an obvious area of food leadership, but we want to produce a diverse pool of doctors, lawyers, teachers, business leaders, mayors, engineers, diplomats, all trained to solve the world's food problems. And by working with you or being your research arm, your team, we are going to give them that practical experience and motivate them by the opportunity to be exposed with leaders like those in Aspen to see what an incredible, powerful change they can make in the world. So I'll stop there and turn it back to Laura and Tara to talk through the particulars. Just delighted to be here and delighted to have this opportunity to work with Aspen.
All right, so I can then talk through a little bit more of the details of the partnership. And we recently developed an online landing page for the partnership, so figured it might be helpful to talk through it by going through the site so you kind of get familiar with that as well. So up top is an overview, and if you haven't seen it yet, there's the link to the press release. Yeah, in that first area, and then. Okay, so we have been thinking about the collaborations that we expect to emerge as falling into three main categories. Though with that said, as you know, this is a new partnership, and we really want it to be responsive to what is most valuable and exciting to you all. So I'll encourage you all to think of these as kind of loose categories, but by no means exclusive. So the first is collaborative research projects. So here teams of GW faculty and Aspen fellows can apply for modest funding to be used really how you please. So that might look like one party kind of being used almost as a consultant for someone else's project, or funds split evenly for more collaborative work. As Stacy mentioned, it's also really core to GFI to create opportunities for our students to get engaged in food systems work. So there'll be the opportunity for you all to apply for a student assistant to support your collaborative projects as well. And then the second bucket is event partnerships. So again, I hope you'll think broadly for this one. Events can mean anything from like a GW faculty member bringing a fellow in for a guest lecture for one of their classes, to a fellow coming to GFI and wanting to collaborate on a large scale public event, to an online series of events, and really anything in between. And we'll give examples of some of these after too. And the last bucket is student project teams. So there are a ton of courses across GW that are project or service-based courses and are always looking for outside partners to provide research questions or other needs. So we've pulled together a sample list that's linked there to just a few of our courses like this, just so you can kind of start to get your wheels turning. But we'll continue to expand that, and truly anything that's on your mind that could use a semester or year-long team of students, share the idea with us, and there's more than likely a class that would be a good fit. And with that, it also feels important to note that we're not at all expecting that everyone is coming in with these fully fleshed out ideas, and that is totally okay. We've put a link in the FAQ at the bottom of this to set up a one-on-one call with GFI and Aspen together if you want to brainstorm ideas with us. And we're really here for you at any point along the way, and excited to be able to help make connections and kind of bring the ideas you have to life and reality. And then what else? Okay, so regarding the funding, we might play around with this model over time, but we're thinking that it would be helpful for us in kind of determining how we can best distribute the funding we have for this partnership, to have this collaboration form that you'll submit your ideas when they're ready. And we'll plan to review and allot funding at 2 points per year in early November. And we'll make that a little flexible now because I know it's somehow almost early November already. And then the other in early June. And we'll send reminders as well. But if you want to, the green button there that's on the screen now is where you can take a look at what that entails. And it's meant to be super easy. It like is really only, it's not like a intense funding proposal at all. I think it's just to kind of get your ideas on paper and have us know what you're thinking about. And then otherwise well, on the funding in the FAQ section at the very bottom, I don't, if you want to scroll down, there is also a breakdown of the anticipated ranges for funding for those who are interested in that. And we're thinking it'll come to around $75,000 that'll be allotted to collaborations across this kind of 2-year period. And remember, this is a pilot still, so funding may seem modest in some areas, but we really do encourage you to still think big, because if there's ways that we can get creative or look for additional funding together, we're open to that as well. And otherwise, in the FAQ, there's a few other resources that might be valuable. And just to point out one other, so to help with connections, we have links in there to learn more about the Aspen Fellows. And it's a bit tougher for the GW community because we really want the whole university to be an available potential partner to you. And we are working on like a kind of find an expert type search tool, but it's not done yet. So in the meantime, we have linked a document in there of kind of key topic areas that our affiliate faculty are working on, in case that's helpful. And then we and Aspen will also be doing our best to connect folks and host events and webinars that can bring you all together naturally too. So I think that's about it for like a quick, sorry, no, that was a lot, a quick overview, and hopefully you can take some time looking through this website. Also, we'll send it out after this so you can let it sink in a little bit more. But I guess before I pass it along, I just want to emphasize again how this partnership is brand new. And a lot of this is kind of how it makes sense for us to start based on conversations we've had with many of you on how this can be most valuable to the really incredible work you're all doing. But by no means will we do it all perfectly, and we'll be learning and iterating with format of this all as the years progress. So I'll ask that you offer us grace and most importantly, feedback and ideas so we can make this something really powerful and valuable to everyone. So I don't know if, Nicole, there's anything big I missed there. Otherwise, I'll pass it to Tara to kind of give some examples of how this has started to look.
I'm going to pass it to Tara, but I will reiterate that, like, fellows, if you have ideas of like buckets that we completely miss, like, please send us an email. Like, Laura and Tara and I are in constant touch, so we can definitely iterate on this like quite quickly.
And I'll just say it's going to be up to all of you to see more of the potential because the breadth of expertise at GW, the willingness of students really at many levels from undergraduate to postgrad to faculty, it's huge. And I think they'd all be fascinated to know a lot of the work the fellows are doing and it could be hugely mutually beneficial. So we're only beginning to test the waters and we're warmly inviting you to think of areas for potential collaboration.
Excellent. Thank you, Corby. So, hi, everybody. I'm Tara Scully. I'm the Director of Curriculum Development at the Global Food Institute. And just about over 2 years, Bill Dietz and I helped start the Institute, just two scrappy people working together. And so that's another thing that I want to point out is we are pretty brand new. We have a lot of new staff that are coming on, researchers. And so please, we're going to try to do our best to support all of your projects. We really want to be a collaborative, arm of how this partnership is going to be working out. So I wanted to give you some example to help inspire your collaborations. At the very beginning of GFI, we were approached by the James Beard Foundation, and specifically Anne McBride, who later became an Aspen Fellow, but wasn't at the time of our initial interaction. The foundation wanted to seek to understand how climate change was impacting independent restaurants. And their goal was to launch a campaign for advocacy around conservation funding in the Farm Bill. So just to talk you through how this worked and illustrate how powerful our students are and our researchers are at GW. Within 2 weeks of me sending an announcement of this opportunity to grad students, I had 40 applications. I selected 13 from 5 different schools across the university and recruited 3 additional colleagues from 3 other schools as well. So together, this interdisciplinary team produced a comprehensive report detailing how climate events were affecting independent restaurants across the United States. So in just 7 months, we were able to launch the report. And this project really showcased the strength of GW's resources and quickly led to widespread dissemination of the findings from the report. It was actually quoted directly, or we were interviewed directly from over 60 different news outlets. Very, very vast reach in my mind. The James Beard Foundation went on to use this momentum to build a network of chef advocates who continue to this very day. I still receive texts from them on our GroupMe about policy change and what can be done in their local communities and trying to replicate that. So it's a very powerful network, and it really illustrated to me the importance of what we can do as an institute very quickly with the resources that we had. And this is another thing that we want to highlight. We want to make sure that the research that we're doing isn't stuck in some peer review article and just waiting for somebody to read it. We want to make sure that we're helping to translate the research that we do at GW into something feasible for other people to take on and utilize that as an advocacy campaign or as a policy change maker. So this is an idea of how you can think about research and how to bring research to our program. And we see this as a common way of interacting with the fellows. We are still working with the James Beard Foundation on future reports as well. We also want to prioritize fostering connections across our fellows at the university. So fellows, as Laura had mentioned, has served as panelists in our Black Lives Farmer series. Also guest speakers in various classes, such as World Out on Plate, which was created by Chef Jose Andres, and then contributing to our Growing Forward Food Tank essay series, as well as being presenters at other convenings as well. Finally, we're committed to supporting the fellows in their individual journeys. All the fellows have their own personal project or aspirations, and we aspire to support them through this process of realizing their project through their fellowship. One example is our collaboration with David Street, who is the Director of Community Engagement for Feeding America. He's a DC native who created a Fit and Fuel Pitch Fest, which empowers local entrepreneurs. To support David, we had a faculty member, Maya Price, who participated in judging alongside our Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship staff. Jessica and Sarah both participated. And hopefully this facilitated a relationship to continue with his pitch event and also to facilitate the program that OIE has as a training program for mentors and mentees. And so this is the dream, is that we're connecting other people at the university to the fellows in order to realize their dreams as well. So it's also a partnership that also was very exciting because it connected multiple Aspen fellows. So it's showcasing our ambition to make these connections all over, not just at the university, but within the fellowship as well. And so this is just a few examples illustrating the possible types of collaboration, from research to speaking engagements to also helping to support the Aspen Fellows' personal journeys. And I'm going to hand this over next to Aaron.
Thanks, Tara. Hey everyone, my name is Aaron Dye. I'm the multimedia editor at Planet Forward. And so we're another little community, little section here at GW that is supporting this collaboration between GFI and Aspen. So we're a project of GW's School of Media and Public Affairs. That's where our office is housed, and we were founded in 2009 by Professor Frank Sesno, who was at CNN for 20 plus years as a correspondent. And our platform it's an experiential learning model. So we work with students all over the country at universities and colleges everywhere. to develop and publish journalism and nonfiction stories of environmental sustainability solutions, and absolutely including, food and agriculture. So my job is to work with students through our fellowship program and others to create these stories, to publish them on our site, and to share them as widely as possible. And so we're really excited to be supporting this collaboration. So as I manage our fellowship program, we have 14 students working with us this year. They're mostly undergrad, but a good portion of those students will be assigning as a beat really this semester to be covering action plans that the fellows are working on, the collaborative research projects at GW, events happening throughout the year. And so really whatever, if you're a GW faculty member and you start, collaborating in one of these really interesting ways, we'd love to cover it and help spread the word about what you guys are doing and what the Aspen Fellows are doing especially. And so we'll just we have students they know that they're going to be working on this. We've actually published one story already about the announcement of the fellowship that you can see here on screen by GW student Gwen McLowry. And so we're just excited to continue the publishing throughout the year following this kind of inaugural story that you can see on our site right now. So that's about it for us, but happy to answer any questions later about Planet Forward. I think over to Laura.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, I think that's the end of us now sharing a lot with you all, and thanks everyone. And we want to leave the rest of the time for any questions that come up or ideas. So it's now on to the rest of you.
Laura, I just wanted to bring up a question that Tom had in the chat, and that was, should we be brainstorming ideas within specific schools or programs at GW, or is it the entirety of the university? And I just wanted to point out, we want you to start with Laura and myself, and then we can connect you to the departments or people that would be the best fit for you. I think trying to reach out is a little bit more challenging and may not get as a quick of a response, depending on the person.
Does that answer your question, Tom? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't sure if this was like can I reach out to you, Tara, to ping the professor that's working on robotics or whatever, like things that are far flung and seemingly unrelated?
Absolutely.
Sounds like the answer is yes.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
Any other questions folks have? And you can feel free to use the chat or raise your hand, whatever is best. Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, well, this is all just really exciting. I know Crystal and Jake and I are on this call, have been having side chat about a project that we want to work on together that we think is really important. That's, right in line with all the opportunities that you've outlined for us. So, yeah, and it seems like too, there's a lot of structure put around it, and everything seems pretty straightforward. Didn't really have any questions, just wanted to say thanks. And I think it's something that all the fellows, at least in our cohort, have been talking about internally, kind of how we can better organize around opportunities to collaborate. And it happens informally in the chat, but I think it's going to be great to put some structure around it, some resources behind those collaborations.
Like what Alex said. Great. That's awesome to hear. Thanks for sharing that. And we'll be excited to hear your idea.
Yeah, and one thing I was going to say is that I feel also there's a lot of specifically along the lines of brokering engagement, maybe not so much amongst the group, but external to the group, or maybe even between the group and the university. I know there's a company out there, Hubble, and a few others that create these really streamlined ways to sign up for time with advisors. for very like short sprints and like very direct focused conversations. And I wonder if that might be a good starting point to think about sort of how to build out just the framework for how we like create profiles and kind of delineate the expertise that exists between GW and like the Aspen fellows. But I think Hubble and a few others might be sort of a good starting point to think about how to organize some of the engagements and just facilitate the actual logistics of getting folks signed up to connect with each other. I'll drop a link in the chat.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
I should add to what Stacy just put in the chat.
You went mute again, Corby, sorry.
I think that collaborating with students who can help research is going to be just enormously beneficial and so much better than AI. Even though, as you just heard from Josh, software can solve any problem, and Josh generally knows which platform can do it. I see Julia's hand up.
Yes, thanks, Corby. Hi, everyone. Just want to echo excitement. I think this is really aligned with what a lot of folks in the Aspen community are thinking about. Apologies if it was covered, but was wondering if you all could share a bit more about the event. I think it's October 28th that I assume we're all invited to.
Yeah, you are. We are just finalizing our agenda. As you can imagine, the shutdown has complicated federal employees' ability to RSVP. And so we had a little, but yeah, happy to, it will be running from about 10:30 to 4:30-ish, and we'll have a number of panels as well as fireside chats. Some of the topics are feeding 10 billion people, the challenge of that. And we've got Rockefeller, World Bank, and other thought leaders. Jose will be speaking. We've got a panel on moving past the noise and promoting nutritious eating. Anyway, a number of great panels. So we'll send out, we'll make sure to get out an invite to our affiliate faculty and to the Aspen Fellows, and register soon because it is filling up. Lots of folks are just going to Food Tank's site and seeking tickets and getting them that way. Actually, I'll just make sure I drop it in the chat so you know where to register if you don't want to wait. But thanks for asking about it. We loved the opportunity to promote.
I think Priya just put it in, so the link is in there.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
Yeah. Thanks, Priya.
Anyway, it says invite only, but you're invited. So just go ahead and ask, and then you'll get the code. All right.
Yes, you should have been on our list. So if you didn't receive an invitation, please use the link. It may have gone to trash or spam. And then Laura, did you want to talk about Stacy's question or statement about like the research timing of the capstone courses related to the application?
Yeah, so we tried to pick the time of like the first week in November and the first week in June as time because it kind of aligns when GW faculty start to plan and make the partner connections for their courses in the following semester. Faculty, you can chime in if I'm off on that and we can change it. But I think a lot are accepting partners year round, but we're thinking that if you do have an idea for a project, to think about that kind of early November and early June as when you'd want to have your ideas for a project that would then launch the semester after. So for November, it would launch in the spring, and for the June deadline, it would launch for a fall course. But again, we have those deadlines for that reason, but really year round be sharing ideas, and then we can just have line it up with the course that makes sense. But I think that's probably when you should be thinking if you want, and know that also you wouldn't need to start the project right away. You'd then have a few months before it would kick off. And then Olivia, I see that I assume you're a student at GW, that question. And if there are opportunities for undergrad research, if you're looking to get into food systems research, but not necessarily lead your own project. Yeah, I think definitely. So that, as we were just talking about, if you're part of a course that has a project-based or capstone component, like this is a good opportunity to come to us. If you might be assigned to a team that would then be paired with a project. Also, if you have just like a capstone project that you need to do on your own, you can reach out to us and with a maybe topic area you're interested, and we can help to connect you to a project or idea. Also, we'll be putting posts out. Like, let's say is a fellow or a group of fellows that have a research project idea and are working with faculty, and we hire a student research assistant or two to support their work, then like we'll be putting calls out for students to support that research. And we'll make sure that all of our students who've expressed interest and or who are on this call are kind of part of those lists and know when opportunities arise. And Uri, thanks for putting your lab into the chat. We'll make sure that gets into the spreadsheet also. That is linked on our website because I know there's a lot of overlap and interest there.
Anything that we can contribute right now? Like if we have,
Enthusiasm and ideas.
well, not so much like ideas, but I'm thinking about like creating, we'll get busy after that, but like thinking specifically about like research opportunities, like we have stuff coming up. Or I'm just like wondering too, like I'm sure all the fellows, I know for sure, like all of the fellows too, like have informally brought resources to bear. Whether it's like invitations to events, like I don't know, just like funding opportunities. I don't know this is the venue for that type of cross sharing. But to supplement all the
Absolutely.
resources you guys are bringing to the table, I'm wondering like if there's a more structured way for us to contribute.
Yeah, I think that the meetings with Laura and myself are the opportunity to share that information.
Yeah, and I'll note too that in those meetings, Nicole is a part of them
Yes.
too. So it is an opportunity for kind of all of us to be brainstorming with you and thinking about both how we can be building these out into exciting projects and partnerships, but also in thinking together about exactly what you were sharing, like what type of infrastructure is needed. I think now this is like pretty bare bones since it's the start and we're just figuring a lot of it out. And I think at least to me, like how there's continuous resource sharing and all of that, like hopefully will become more streamlined and comprehensive and easy access like over the months and years of this. So definitely as you have ideas, share them probably with Tara and Nicole and I, and then we'll over time kind of formalize those into yeah processes for this partnership. So thank you. Thanks for asking that too.
Adding on to that, is there an ask or a need for, I guess, for folks that are local or can do virtual classes or things that you need for guest lectures or support on advising students or supporting placements in internships or roles that are less formal, less structured in this way that we could support with?
Yeah, I think
if that's a need, right?
Yeah, Tara, that's a great question. Yes, we have tons of classes that we're rolling out, and we'll share that with you. It's on our website what classes we have that are upcoming. But we definitely have opportunities for you to come in, even if virtually. We still do virtual sessions as well. But especially people in DC, we would love to have you in our classes. We have had, like I said, some already come to World on a Plate. And we also have a gender, ag, and climate change course where we've had guest speakers for that. But we would definitely extend more opportunities to all of you. So if you are interested, please reach out to me, especially because I'm the director of all these classes, and I can connect you with the faculty that I think is the most appropriate for you to come and speak at their class.
Also, like if you, Tarek, or anyone else like have like internship opportunities or different events that y'all are hosting that would be good for us to pub to our networks and students as well, like please share them. I think probably Nicole and I are, there's the emails on the last slide, we'll send it out after too, are like the place to send those. And then we'll, yeah, really gladly be sharing anything out that feels relevant or that you want to kind of reach different audience. And that goes both ways too.
Yeah, and please remember, we have students who live all over the world. So when they go home during the summer, this may be an opportunity for you to utilize them as an intern at your location because they happen to live there. So please don't limit it to just like the school year. We do have opportunities that students are always craving to look for an internship during the summer.
Any other questions or thoughts before we close? And as we said, you have our information. You can set up a meeting with us anytime. Like we're here. We thought it'd be good to kind of have this kind of kickoff to share info. But we are always here. So as ideas come or other thoughts or questions, you have oh, yes. Okay. We'll put our emails. Do you have the GW folks have Global Food Institute? You all have Nicole. We'll make sure everyone has the contact info for everyone so we can be in constant communication. All right. I guess we're good then. We'll give you all back 15 minutes. I'm sure they are precious, giving the folks in this room. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. We're really excited to see where this goes in the months, years to come. So thank
And
you
as
all.
you can tell, so are we. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Good to see
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye.
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 Thank you all.